Yappe.
That's pretty yappe. What does that even mean? Does that even mean anything? Does anything you say even make
Nice
any sense
resub.
at all?
Well
And to that
timed
I would say
resub.
yes, sometimes.
Scamupog.
Scamupok, true. Truly, the most schemish, scamish of things. Well, well, well. Are you ready? We're moving into the game. That's where we're gonna be existing from now on, inside a game. This is exactly like Sword Art Online. I can't even talk anymore. Sword Art One-Line. Sword Art One-Liner. That's what it's gonna be. Okay, that's open. Nobody knows. Every time I read the name Nobody Knows, I get reminded of that season of QI where they had a thing where they could hold up like a sign for when the answer was actually unknown. So they could hold up and then they would play a sound effect that's like nobody knows, and it was because no one actually knows the answer. Stephen Fry would just ask a question, and then sometimes, like once per show in that season, it was just like not known. And I don't know why I'm telling you this anecdote, but that's what it reminds me of. All right. So, let's get started. You can all now, yeah, you can all now move over here, okay? Because the Twitch stream is not going to be going for much longer. There is my YouTube link. Good luck, everyone. I'm sure you can figure it out. And then we're going to load this. And then as soon as it's loaded, we're going to turn it off, okay? That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry about that. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to use... I feel so bad, even though lots of people do this, you know? I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm... yeah. I feel like I'm scamming you, but I'm not, I promise. The stream will keep going. It's just on a different platform. I don't know. I know lots of people do this, but I just, like, feel weird about it. I'm like, damn, dude, I promised a Twitch stream and I'm not even delivering one, but, I mean, yes, I kind of am. Imagine using Twitch. That's true. It is true. All right, come on now. It's time to move, everyone. I'm gonna turn it off. Volara, YouTube. Finally introduced the language for YouTube app alone. Now I can... What? What does it say? I can switch my phone to German without getting pressure to introduce closed captions. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice, yes. All right. I'm turning it off. All right? By Twitch. If you want to watch the stream, you have to go to YouTube now. Now is the time. I think my link works, right? It's the proper link. It is. Okay. Hey, thanks. What is Twitch? I don't know. It's some weird purple stuff. Okay. YouTube に移動しましょう. Wait. I'm making a point here. There we go. Now we've really made the point. now I've really made a statement, haven't I? All right, bye Twitch. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Here we are. So last time, I don't even know. What did we do last time? Because I don't remember. We did something last time. No, like last time we talked to Moeka. And we were trying to figure out some stuff. We were trying to figure out... To figure 8. We were trying to figure out what the hell... What the hell... What's his name? Isaku. No, what's his name? Ah, Yusaku. Amasugi Yusaku. We were trying to figure out what he's doing. And we figured out also that he used to work for Keibi Kaisha, right? Keibi. Well, it's just a hard thing to say. After all, this app will not make my settings to not show CC. Oof. KB. I need to practice that, even though I say it like every stream now. And we talked about Yusaku, we talked about Aiga. Also, we talked to her about why she was sneaking into Aiga's office to grab the vase. Bunch of stuff, really. Alright. 突きつける。なんか突きつけることあるのかな? ないねん. I don't think we have anything that she hasn't seen yet, but it might be useful to show her some stuff. What does she have to say about this stuff? あ、知ってるよ、それ. I know that one. Don't know what that means, but... ユーサくんの会社のカードだから. This is, Yusaku's company card. Considered broken and they must fix it. They should. But, as always with these, like, low priority features. そういえば久しぶりに見た気がするな. I feel like I'm seeing this again for the first time in a while. 会社は辞めていたみたいだからな、ユーサクくん。 Well, it seems that no yappe here. It's true. We had no yappe. We only have the laughter that I added. This one. It's very funny. That's all. That's all we're getting. Yappari. Yes. 会社は辞めていたみたいだからな、優作くん。Well, it's because he quit the company after all, didn't he? I will show her everything. It's the kind of guy I am. I can't hide anything. すいません、これなんですけど。Okay, she's not gonna have anything to say about this. Type 100 without magazine on that wallboard? Wait, what? I did not parse that sentence. What does that sentence mean? Type 100 without magazine on that wallboard. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, ごめん. Okay, so she doesn't have anything to say about this. What about this? これが怪人仮面マスクか。どんな家に住んでいるのかな? Gun. What? You're not making it easier on me. So this is the Mask of Mask, the thief, huh? I wonder what kind of house he lives in. This kind of, I guess? こんな家かもしれませんね. It would be kind of like this house. Type 100 is a submachine gun. Oh. Well, there you go. Guns are for losers. That's a very un-American thing of you to say. Wait, I am clearing out my tea bag. Tickets to the gun show. I sometimes forget how directional this mic is, and I do this, and I'm like, oh, you probably barely can hear me anymore. But yeah, it has side magazines. Wow, that's so cool. それ面白いね. That's pretty interesting. でも私が怪人ならもっとゴージャスな屋敷に住みたいな. But if I was the thief, I would want to live in like a gorgeous mansion or something. 優作くんに伝えておきます. I'll forward that to 優作 when we meet him. Yeah, will we though? I never keep my promises. Wallet and grommet. 優作くんの財布だね、それ. That's 優作's wallet, isn't it? 事件があった夜、警備の I keep saying it wrong. 警備のビルで見つかったんですけど, it was found at the KB building at the night of the incident. あの晩は優作くんとレストランでご飯食べて. It is a wallet, yeah. That night I was eating at a restaurant with 優作. その時は確かにあったんだけどな、それ. And I'm pretty sure he had it on him at the time. Okay, alibi. やっぱり優作くんが現場で落としたのかな. So it must be that Yusaku dropped it at the crime scene. Japanese gun in Japan only though? I don't know. 脅迫状. We should show her 脅迫状. The letter of intimidation. Intimidation. これなんですけど知ってますか? About this, do you know what this is? あ、優作くん宛てのお手紙ね. It's a letter that is addressed at 優作. 私、人のものを勝手に盗み見るの嫌いだから. So, I hate peeping on people's stuff. I hate looking at stuff without people's permission. やっぱり、マレカさんは知らないみたいだね. It seems Marika really doesn't know. Letter of intimacy, yeah. Same thing, basically, you know. It's so dark. It's almost like coffee. Yusaku 君が脅迫されていたこと that Yusaku was being threatened. Nothing to know. From Tenten to Eve and Wasif. Where is Wasif? Get him over here. Is he live? I'm curious. Come on. Why can I not fold this out? Okay, this is so stupid. Whatever. This is stupid Twitch layout. Okay. She's not gonna have anything to say about this. She's streamed 8 hours yesterday. Damn. The stamina, though. When I move into my new apartment, I'm gonna stream 1,000,000 hours a day. No one can stop me. すいません、これなんですけど. Okay, she doesn't have anything to say about this. I thought so. 防犯カメラ. Nope, nothing about this. What did he stream? Was it a successful stream? Camera data. She's not gonna have anything to say about this. Nah, thought so. The statue. I like saying the word statue. It has something snappy about it. Chew. I guess it's because the chew in their statue. Chew. Just cute. Okay, nothing about this. It's like 20 minutes shorter. So instead of taking an hour, I will take about 35 minutes. So it'll be shorter for sure. Like I'll save almost an hour a day. Posta. Okay, so sorry, I forgot to read it out loud, but she said, I'm glad that you got your vase back. Mareka-san no okage desu. Gomen nasai. It's all thanks to you. I'm sorry. It's an improvement. Yeah, it's cool. Nande ayamaru no? Why are you apologizing? だって壺を盗んだ犯人は優作さんだって思ったから。Well, because we thought that the person who stole the vase was 優作。だから言ったでしょ I told you. 優作くんが怪人のわけないって。I told you that there's no way 優作 would be the thief. Or a thief. Could be the or a. Pick your article. Pickle. Magatama. There's nothing gonna be here. I'm curious if we can show her some people. 頼りなさそうに見えるけどね。これでもやるときはビシッとやるんだよ。He seems unreliable from the looks, but when he has to do something, he really does it. Like when he sets his mind to something, he really gets stuff done, basically. いつなんですかそのやるときって。Damn, that's savage. So Mayo is like, so when's that? When's he gonna do that then? When is the time? When does that time come about? いつなんですか? She asks it so purely, so like straightforwardly. She's just like, oh yeah, when? Nice one. Yeah, that's a burn. まあめったにないけど. I mean, it is pretty rare. Metta is a good word. I've always liked metta ni nai. Kometa ni. Metta. Oh, wrong keyboard. Metta. Metta just means like not a lot. Thoughtlessness. Metta ni. Rarely, seldom. Yeah. With a negative verb, by the way. So she's saying metta ni nai. Which is similar to saying amari nai. So yeah. My back hurts. No leaf in front of her mouth. Yeah. She's leafless. She's not leafy. でもね、私は一生忘れないと思うな。But, you know, I don't think I'll ever forget. 素敵な思い出があるんだね、マレカさん。You have a beautiful memory with him, don't you, Mareka? Yeah, so that's another thing we learned last time. Apparently, Yusaku kinda saved her life. Old Man Eve, yeah? It's like the movie Old Man Logan. Well, it was just called Logan, but it was based on the Old Man Logan comic, right? We should have put I don't bailiff it. That would have been a better pun, because of court. Yeah, so we learned that Yusaku apparently saved her. She was like taken captive by some thieves by some like burglars that came in to the company, the KB security. I like how we can just like see only cleavage here. It's very nice. すいません、これなんですけど。She's not gonna say anything about. I guess Itonoko is not, you know. これが怪人仮面マスクか。Yeah, we already had that. So this is the same text she had when we showed her the photograph, which makes sense. It is the same image person. 絶対に許せないよ。こんなやつ。I can never forgive this guy. 自分の罪を優作くんに着せようなんて。 To think that he would want to frame Yusaku with his own crimes. We've had this so many times now, tsumi o kiseru, right? It's like probably a phrase that everyone, or not everyone, but it's like a phrase that maybe you've picked up by now. That's one that shows up literally, I don't even know, it must show up dozens and dozens of times in this series. Because everyone's always trying to frame other people. They're always trying to, tsumi o, they're always trying, いつも着せようとしてる。ようとする means to try and do something, or to be about to do something. そうですよね。That's right. 犯罪者ってみんなそう自分勝手で卑怯で Okay, so criminals are all like this. They're selfish and, well, 卑怯 means cowardly. 卑怯者卑怯 is a good word. No, that's the wrong 卑怯. This one 卑怯. Also, I really like the kanji, kinda. They're nice. 癒やしい vulgar. Oops, but just like the shape. This is like a nice kanji in terms of shape. It's kind of unique. It kind of stands out a bit. You know, it's not like your box standard everyday freaking average Joe kind of kanji. Okay, it's this direction. All right, let me try and draw this. So it would be just meh, 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 and then I presume just normal, right? We start with, yeah, we do start with that stroke. We do start with this. Meh, meh, meh. I feel like I made this part too big. Maybe I did. It feels too big. Too big. Too big is Filipino Tagalog for water. I remember that. Actually, I don't think I made it like that much too big. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. And then, like, that's just obieru. So the kyo in hikyo is actually obieru, which means to be frightened or afraid of something, which is like this. There you go. Where this is actually also very similar to, like in horitsu or bunpo. Right? Same thing here. Sometimes it's fun to just take some time and draw a kanji. I feel like it makes you more familiar with it, and it kind of strengthens the bond. You know, in Persona, we would level up now. That's how that would work. We would have our kizuna ga tsuyoku natta, or what was it? Fukamaru, right? Kizuna ga fukamaru, or naka ga fukamaru. I think it's naka. Wait, what word do they use in Persona when you level up the relationship? They use, like, I know kizuna shows up, but I'm not sure if that's the word they use. I think it's naka ga fukamaru, right? Or something like that. It's not kankei or kankeise. It's one of those. Cookie. A cookie. One of those kinds of typical mystical oracle contexts. Yeah, kinda. So yeah, she's saying that criminals are always like this. Komyu? Well, it's not komyu, is it? But komyusho. I don't know. Why do you say komyu? Oh, komyu! Right, sorry, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. It's in Persona. Yeah, komyu, but they don't call it that. When it levels up. Sorry, I got confused. I confused myself. Sometimes my brain just doesn't work right. Yeah, in Persona. But they don't say komyu ga fukamaru. They say something else. They say like naka ga fukamariso, I think. Soro. That's what they say anyways. I think like whatever. But yeah, they do call the concept is called komyu. So she's saying all criminals are always very selfish and they're cowardly. Shikyomono. Atashi daikirai. I hate them. Funky shape and bone script. Bone script. They use naka, huh? I think they use naka. Yeah, naka ga fukamariso da. I think that's what they use. Nantonaku wakaru kiga suru no. I feel like I understand what she means. Do you though? Do you understand what this means? Yusaku-kun ga kaijin no koto o Mareka-san ni hanashite inai ryu. The reason why Yusaku never told Mareka about the whole thief business. Does sound right, you know. What does she have to say about herself? She's 23. That's one thing she could say about herself. I'm 23. That would be a thing that people say about themselves, which is their age. How old are you? No, don't tell me. I will guess. 24. Whoever's 24, I meant you. there's any one of the 9 of you. Well, I know you aren't because you're like, oh shit, I should know how old Tintin is, but I feel like you're like, what was it? 2 years younger than me or something? Or was it more than that? I don't remember. Literally me IRL. 23 North 24. 私はバイクと優作くんがいれば、幸せだな。As long as I have Yusaku and my bike, I'm happy. She doesn't need much in life, you know? That's nice. うわ、素敵ですね。24 here, hello. See? I meant Eric all along. It was Eric who I meant. No one else. It was him all along. Him or them or she or whichever, you know? I meant Eric. That's what I'm saying. With my divine powers, or with my, I should say, spiritual powers, because in the game they use a lot of reibaishi. It's false. Do you know the clip from what was his name? The guy who does the scary stories on TV, where he's like, this story is false. We made it up. And then someone made the edit where he just keeps saying based. This story, of course, is based. I love that video so much. Like one of my favorite videos now. うわ、素敵ですね. That's wonderful. Trying to trick up. I'm tricking everyone. Jonathan, yeah, Jonathan, no. Yeah, is it Jonathan Frakes? Oh yeah, I think it's, yeah, Jonathan Frakes. Wait, I want to watch that video now. I'm sorry. This is very important. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. I just gotta... YouTube, Jonathan Frakes. Is it Jonathan Frakes? I think it is, right? Jonathan Frakes asks you things. I like that. Wait, but I want Jonathan Frakes. Based. Why is this so good? Okay, I'm sorry, but... this is just way too good. Need to mute this.
Time to see which of our stories are based. Was this story based?
It's based. It's really based.
Yes. Was this story based? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was
You thought this story was based? You're right.
This tale of a mysterious force protecting a pharmacy is based. Is this story based?
This is definitely the most based story.
Was this story based?
There's another good one edit of just him telling you that you're wrong. Where he just keeps saying like, you're wrong. And you send it to your friends, you know? あとは少しのスリルと少しじゃないお金があれば Wow, okay. And then I guess everything else I need is a little bit of a thrill and not that small amount of money. Like 少しじゃない is an interesting thing to say. 少しじゃないお金があれば as long as I have a considerable amount of money. それでもう十分かな、十分かな yeah. So that's all I need. The story of a mysterious force protecting a pharmacy does sound based. Yeah, I think so too. It's the force of the pharmaceutical industry. My recommendations plagued me with these videos for months. After a while, it did so again, as if I never saw them. You know the way you phrased that almost sounded like Jonathan Frakes, something Jonathan Frakes would say? It's like, his YouTube recommendations were plagued with these videos for months. After a while, it did so again, as if he never saw them. That story is fake. We made it up. I don't know, something like that. 意外に欲張りだよ、なるほどくん. He's kind of greedy. 欲張る means to be greedy or to want things. To be wanty. That's not a word. 欲張り. Greed, avarice. Oh, I like the word avarice. Avarice is a fantastic word. It's not used enough, is it? The Asmongold from time to time. Oh, does that happen? Yeah. Sometimes I see Asmon. 欲張り. 意外に欲張りだよ、なるほどくん. Okay. What else? Does she know Kiryu? Do they have any connection? By the way, Minister 1. You were Minister what? Was Minister taken then? I guess it must have been, huh? It's interesting though, because you'd think like Ministereth would be taken, but I don't know. My YouTube username is so stupid. I'm not even gonna tell you what my personal username is, or was. Yes. Avarice shows up all the time in ARP. That's true. I literally talked about how I was playing Diablo and there's an item in Diablo 3 called Avarice or the Avarice Band. So yeah. すいません、これなんですけど. So about this. Okay, she has nothing to say about Kiryu. It's interesting. Does she know Yahari? ああ、財布を届けてくれた彼だね。彼だね。Yeah. So that's him. He brought the wallet, right? Kanji Bone Script Converter. Yeah. Got the nick on Twitch. Damn, dude. You can buy it off the other person. やっぱりが口癖の. He's the guy whose catchphrase is やっぱり, right? He says やっぱり a lot. 喋ってたら不自然なほどやっぱりを連呼するから、連呼 means to say something over and over again. It's literally like to put together and to say, like, yeah, 連呼 calling repeatedly, pronouncing successfully. Pronouncing successfully is a good one, but yeah, usually 連呼 means like that. In Mario Party 7, Toadstool says, let's see who earned the most coins. Oh, such avarice. Then I thought, I don't know that word and I need to improve my English. Wait, I'm a native speaker. He says yappari a lot. You know, I was thinking that too. Does he really? Maybe. I feel like it's not that he says it a lot. I feel like he gets called it a lot, you know? But maybe we're both wrong. I don't know. 不自然なほどやっぱりを連呼するから Well, he kind of has an unnatural, he says やっぱり an unnatural amount of times. 名前は忘れちゃったけど、その癖だけ印象に残ってるな. I forgot his name, but his habit is the only thing that's stuck in my mind. This is a good phrase. If you ever want to have a good phrase, this is it. This is the one good phrase we're going to learn today, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my cursor? There. 印象に残っている. That's very common. You'll have like 印象 here means impression, like the impression that something makes on you. And に残る is very straightforward. It remains in your impression. It makes an impression on you. It is left. This 印象に残る, this 印象 being like the sort of place in your brain where the impression is stored, and it remains there. It still remains. What song does that line show up? Oh, Sound of Silence, right? I think so. Or is it something else? I don't know. There's a song where they say that phrase. Still remains, and then something. I don't know. It's very annoying when you have like less than a second of a song plop up in your head and you cannot place it immediately. 多分自分を売り込もうと必死だったんだろうな、やはり。売り込もう. So in this case, 売り込もう is probably 売り込む, which means to build to promote oneself, which is exactly what he's doing here. To promote oneself, because やはり the fox, the sly fox, he's really into Moeka, even though she's married. But for some people, that makes it even more... Never mind, we're not going to go down that road. Suffice to say, he's trying his best. So yeah, 多分自分を売り込もうと必死だったんだろうな、やはり. Oh, you know what? I think I understand what the joke is here. Maybe. Is the joke that because he was trying to sell himself, he was saying his own name a lot of times? And the joke is that she didn't understand that that was his name and she thought she just said yappari a lot? Or is that just, am I reading too much in? I'm probably reading too much into this, let's be honest. That could be one interpretation though, maybe. I don't know. They're not being very clear here. Well, maybe also because that's not at all what's going on and I'm just reading into it. Also, do you have any idea what I should do with an IoT SIM card and where to put it? I don't even know what an IoT SIM card is, but I presume you would put it in a SIM slot. 作戦は失敗だったみたいだけどね. It seems his plan failed. まあまあ、そう早く諦めない方が Internet of Things. Is that just a SIM card with internet access? Like a 4G, 5G, 6.5G? Or is that a SIM card for internet only? If those are a thing? I guess they are. 嫌なやつだね。嫌なやつだよね。ほんと。I don't like this guy. He's such a revolting guy. I don't know what you mean, Internet of Things SIM card, to be honest. They have special data plan, below for narrowband. Huh. I mean, I don't know. You're asking me, I didn't even have that thing. you got it. So don't you have an application for it? Feel like, you know. SD card derp. Derp, 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 derp. 最初から Oh, this is also a good one. 最初から狙ってたんだ。優作のこと。He was aiming for Yusaku right from the start. The way she has the little small tsu here on 最初から. It's kind of an emphasis thing. So she's kind of emphasizing this like because this here is not needed. You could keep it out 最初から. But when she says 最初から狙ってたんだ, it's just kind of like for emphasis. It kind of underlines it. Something people do. It kind of depends. I don't have the exact rules for when you can do that and when you can't. Well, usually it would be for like just straight up sort of ends in a vowel and then continues with a consonant, I think. Then it would make sense. I'm not sure I'm not sure exactly what pattern you would be looking for where this would apply, but it does happen sometimes where small tsus are sort of inserted to further stress whatever comes after. Where here, like, having the small tsu kind of stresses the kara, right? Because you pause and then you say it more strongly. 最初から gives more emphasis on the word kara. 狙ってたんだ、優作くんのこと. So he was aiming for it right from the start. Practice your Python in a forest or a random street corner. Listen, if that's what you want to do. Forest programming sounds like fun. 殺人犯として疑いをかけたんだよ。疑いをかけてたんだよ。So he was trying to put a suspicion of murder on him. He was trying to cast the suspicion of him being a murderer on him. For Ayueong ends with a vowel and starts with a consonant. Well, that's true, but that's not really what I like. I guess, yeah, I guess you're right. Before a voiced consonant, I guess not. I wouldn't expect it to come before a voice, but I can't really say. I've never seen like an article written about this specific usage. It's just something that I know because it happens a bunch, but I've never seen anyone kind of do some research on it, which kind of would prompt me to do it, huh? But I don't think it's not really needed. You don't really need to. If you just like know like, oh, people do this to emphasize stuff, and you're just like, okay. 殺人犯として疑いをかけてたんだよ. So he was trying to put like suspicions of murder on him. 僕は優作。僕はコーヒーをかけられましたしね. And he put coffee on me. This is kind of a pun here as well because they use kakeru for both, right? So our friend, the verb kakeru, our favorite verb, kakeru. So she used 疑いをかける, which means to try and put suspicion on someone. And then Naruhodo says, and he put coffee on me. So in English, you maybe use the word put twice. Doesn't work as neatly because putting coffee on you doesn't really make sense. But to sort of translate the pun, right? It's just because she said he put suspicion on Yusaku, and then Naruhodo said, yeah, and he put coffee on me. Like, コーヒーをかけられましたし. And also, this is passive. So coffee was put on me, coffee was thrown at me, essentially. This is passive because it would be かける, so then it becomes かけられました. かけられました. Did I just change my brush? No, I didn't. Interesting, though. He covered Yusaku in suspicion, but I was covered in coffee. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like that. かけられっぱなしじゃかっこ悪いよね. I mean, it's pretty lame to have things thrown on you the whole time. It's pretty lame to have all this stuff thrown at you, suspicions or coffee. Dude, having coffee thrown at you would suck. You'd get burned if it's hot coffee. But I mean, it was Godot Blendo 107号, was it? I think. Only the finest. よし、明日あいつに牛乳引っ掛けちゃおう. That's hard to say. 引っ掛けちゃおうよ. All right, we should throw some milk at him tomorrow. You know, why not? I'm on board. Why not? He should get milk thrown at him. The lad. Also, he could use it with his coffee. Thin out the coffee. Make a coffee. Oh, who here Survey time. Who's a black coffee drinker? That could be misinterpreted. Who drinks their coffee black without milk? Is what I should say, because theoretically it could be black people who drink coffee who would say, yes, I am a black coffee drinker. Anyways, it's not what I meant. Who here never puts milk in their coffee? And I'm counting almond milk or soy milk, any kind of sort of anti-bittering agent or whatever. Yeah, I guess if you don't drink coffee. I'm drinking tea right now, so. She almost had a bullet flown at her. Usually, you would say a bullet... How would you say that? You don't say a bullet flown at her because... flung maybe? Or shot at? Because bullets don't really get flung, they get shot, so yeah. I don't drink coffee. Not a lot of coffee drinkers in chat. I think some guy drinks coffee. All right. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's basically it. We should move. I drink cappuccino blasts. That's coffee. What? Or am I misunderstanding? What is that? I don't know what that is. Blast off! Ryuchijo. Should we go to Ryuchijo or should we go to... Oh, we should probably go KB. We haven't been to KB. Wow, okay. Straight up safe. Haroi. Iroha. Iroha is a good name. 同日、某時刻、警備会社、社長室. So, same day, certain time, and we're at the CEO office of KB Security. ここが殺人現場か. Oh, is that supposed to be the outline of the person? Did they get, like, cut in half by the save door? Is that what happened? It's kind of a frappuccino from Dunkin' Donuts, Baskin Robbins. But that's a coffee, though. That's coffee. ここが殺人現場か. This is the crime scene. さすが警備会社の社長室だね. 壁が厚そうだよ. It's so silly. No office would look like this. Okay, whatever. As expected of the chief's office from a security company, the walls seem so thick. You know what else seems thick? Nothing. Nothing at all. There's nothing. Everything's fine. Did you know that there's different atsui? Should we talk about all the different atsui? Well, there's like 3, right? I think so. Atsui. Yeah, there's 3. Well, maybe there's more, but I can think of 3. Yeah, I think there's only 3. We're not going to count weird ones like these. I've never seen this. And now, see, like, I'm going to, like, read some, like, light novel or some article on the internet, and then some author is going to think he's funny, and he's going to put this instead of this. And then I'm going to hate him. But yeah, usually you don't see this. I've never seen this variant. Usually you would see atsui, which is thick. Kind, cordial, hospital, warm, faithful. This would be more atsui as in describing someone's like seikaku, right? Like personality. Serious of an illness. Oh, I didn't know this. So I guess you can say atsui byoki. That would be interesting. Let me just try and Google atsui byoki. Oops. Atsui byoki. Is that a thing people say? Wait, let's try Google trick. If you put it in quotes, it will search for the exact phrase. 壁が熱い病気. I don't know if 子宮の壁が熱い病気. I don't know if this is right. I don't know. You know, I don't know about this one. It's because it says it's a illness where your what's the 子宮 called again? Your womb. The womb walls are thick, essentially. But let's not go too deep into that. Is that what they say? I didn't pay attention to what it said. But yeah, so atsui, this is for thick, okay? Usually for like flat objects that are thick, like walls or I don't even know, like it doesn't mean fat. So you can't use it for people, right? You can't say, oh, this is a thick person. That doesn't work. Usually it just means like deep or wide in diameter or something like that. Like not even wide in diameter, I shouldn't say. It's just like thickness, you know? Like a wall is usually the way that it's used for that context. Maybe atsui for that context. You know, it could be. It doesn't say. I don't think it's that important also. And then the other one would be atsui, obviously hot. Oh, also notice a difference in pitch, which I wasn't really aware of, but apparently there's a difference in pitch as well for atsui, which is thick, and then atsui, atsui. I guess it would be atsui, yeah, like that. Atsui, atsui. It's kind of these ones where it's like either nakadaka or heiwa. It's kind of subtle. I guess if you had like something like atsui, what could be hot? Atsui hono, a hot flame. Atsui hono, it would be like atsui hono, whereas the other one would be like atsui hono, which doesn't make sense. A thick flame doesn't really make sense. Atsui would be like atsui kabe. Interesting. I didn't know. I was unaware of the pitch difference there, but it's good to know. Yeah, it's good to know. Maybe in the future I'll try and listen for it and then see if I can actually notice it. Atsui in context of miru, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know about the illness thing. The illness thing I can't say. I can't really comment on like a severe illness. That's news to me. I don't usually. You say something like, what do you say for severe illness? Omoi. I thought it was omoi. Don't people say omoi byoki? I thought that's what people say. I feel like I've heard that. Yeah. 医者が行っている病気の、重い病気の見分け方. I feel like that's what people say, but it certainly has a lot of results. So yeah. What's bloody diarrhea in Japanese? I don't know. Something geri. Can't really comment on severe illness. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. Maybe stove would be a good example for thick, hot to the touch. Yeah, maybe. A thick stove. Maybe. それは関係ないだろう. I don't think it has anything to do with it. Oh, it's Itonoko. 真っ赤な... No. お、あんたたち. It's you guys. Ah, Itonoko 刑事. Detective Itonoko. あんたたち、今日は災難だったっすね. You guys really were in some trouble today. 災難. I think 災難 is like, in his case, yeah, disaster. Calamity. 災難. 災難に遭う. This is also a good one, by the way. So, 会う has a bunch of different ones as well, which we could talk about. So, there's 会う to meet, and there's 会う to kind of come together, to be joined. So, right, you have the one that's probably most common for, or not even most common, but people kind of tend to know would be 会う. Sorry, that's not. This is the wrong thing. I'm drawing the wrong thing. This is ko as in kokai. It's not 会う. My brain is lagging though, so I can't show you. It's something like that. There, yeah. I knew it was something like that. It's in fact just a roof and then this under it. There we go. So that's probably the one that people know, 会う to meet, and then usually you have this one, which is 会う to sort of to be joined, to come together, not really to meet people. And then the other one, which was the one we have on screen right now, which is to encounter, which is commonly used with like disasters or stuff like that. I think this has like 2 strokes here, and then yeah, right, out like that, right? Like to be met with disaster. It also means 痛い目に遭う. You would use that other 遭う because 痛い目 means having a bad time. 痛い目に遭う means have a bad time. 痛い目に遭う, which would also use this kanji. Or actually, I guess it can use this one, but honestly, I feel like the other one fits better, but who knows? What do I know? Don't listen to me. Listen to me a little bit, maybe, though. Okay. Go through bitter experience. Yeah, 痛い目に遭う. There's something people say that a lot for like, oh, you'll have a bad time. 痛い目に遭うぞ. Like, oh, you'll have a bad time with that. あんたたち、今日は災難だったっすね. You sure went through some disaster today. 本当っすよ。あの検事さんにうまくやられちゃって。You're right. We really got. I never やられちゃった. He really got the best of us. I always want to say we got because it's fun to say, like this. We got. We got. But you know, it's not very nice English, I guess. Kind of works. Kind of works. He got us is probably better. He got us. He really got us. やられちゃった. Because of course, because of all the meanings we've been had. Yeah, we've been had is a bit nicer, but we got is more fun to say. Yararechata, because of all the different meanings of yaru, it can mean different things. Yararechata could also mean like you got killed, but you know, in this context, more he got the better of us. Gotten, yeah. Japanese sans would say itai me ni au. Did he say that? I think so, maybe. Oh, you're gonna have a bad time? Yeah, what does he say? I don't know. I think he says something like this. Choppiri doujou suru su. I actually empathize with you a bit. あれ、珍しいですね。いつものいとこさんなら、that's kind of rare. Usually you'd say something like いい君っす。きまーみろ。ざまーみろっす。最高っす。わははははっす。Usually you'd say something like serves you right. You get what you deserve. It's amazing. Wa ha ha. There's a bunch of good phrases in here. Iikimi. Iikimi is for, you know, get what you deserve. These are both of these phrases, zama miro and iikimi, mean the same thing. They mean like you get what you deserve. Iikimi. It serves you him right. It's what he deserves. Iikimi. And then the other one is zama miro. Zama miro. I wonder if it's like this. It would be like, how would it be even spelled usually? I guess it would be spelled like this, huh? Zama miro. Yeah, there we go. I just like instinctively typed it exactly like I saw it, but yeah, serves you right. Zama miro. おかしい Twitch で配信してない Yeah, I know, it's on purpose. It's on purpose. I scammed everyone. I started streaming on Twitch, and then I was like, all right, lads, we're moving, we're migrating. It's all a ploy. It's a strategy, a stratagem, a farce, a scheme, a trickery, if you want, a foolery. I always find it interesting that Japanese sans use oira. Everyone was debating whether he would use ore or boku or ore, but classic sans, yeah. There was a huge discussion about him using oira. Of like, oh, what is he from the countryside or something? But I don't know, it's kind of charming. I don't know, from like a non-native perspective, from me, like I think it's charming for him to use oira. It kind of stands out. It certainly got people's attention, I guess. Black coffee, not drinker. I don't drink coffee much tea. Some guy, could it be that you're like way behind on the stream? I talked about that like 20 minutes ago. Oh, he must have paused the stream and not noticed. Well, that is a feature that you can do on YouTube, so yeah. Makes me anxious. I think, oh shoot. Well, now I'm going to make use of that feature because I just accidentally clicked it away, so I need to go check what it said. It is actually so useful too, of just being able to quickly go on my own stream and rewind a few seconds. It is actually so useful. Shut up, Eve. No one needs to hear you. No one needs to hear what you have to say. What did she say? Ikimi zamamiro saiko. Oh yeah. There, that's what he said. That's what he said. Am I that unpleasant to be with? Or am I that unpleasant to be around with? Yes, you are. Oh no, wait, that's not what he... I missed it. Wait. That's what he says right now. What did he say here before that? Mitaina kanji nanoi. Okay, she said mitaina kanji. She said like, that's what you're usually like. And then he replies. Okay, good. Got it. Yeah, Rockin', how are things? I think things are pretty good, right? Things are pretty good. I'm having a nice weekend. How about you? Hey, それはもう. Yeah, but of course you are. I also find it interesting that Junkrat, you know, yeah, sorry, I don't have a dictionary here right now. I should see that it joins this chat. It shouldn't be that hard. I'm pretty sure it would be kind of a plug and play thing. I should be able to just grab my... Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not in this chat yet. I will try and have it work though. I find it interesting that Junkrat Overwatch seems to use oira. I wonder if they thought Australian English must sound like real Japanese. Baby, it can. Having a nice weekend as well. That's nice. Only game. とにかく, well, anyway. 自分の仕事を一生懸命やる人間を自分は認めるっす. Well, I'll always acknowledge those who try and do their job with all their might, with all they have. そして、それが裏目に出た人間に自分は同情しちゃうっす. Why? I have Jisho open for some reason. I don't even know why. How did this happen? How could we have landed on Jisho.org, the inferior website? Sponsored by Lorenzi Jisho. I wish. but I don't think Lorenzi makes a profit with that website. There's no ads on it after all. 裏目に出た。裏目に出る。裏目に出る。To backfire. There you go. To produce a result to the opposite. それが裏目に出た人間に自分は同情しちゃうっす。Okay, so he's essentially saying that he admires people that put everything into their work, that work with all they got. And then 同情する means to empathize or to feel bad for someone. So he says, and then I feel bad when it backfires. Like he says, and I feel bad when that effort ends up kind of backfiring on them. 同情せざるを得ない。刑事の仕事もそんなことばっかりっすから。The job of a detective is all like that as well. Is it really, or are you just bad at it? 意外にいい人なんだ、Itonokoさん。You're kind of you're unexpectedly like a good guy, Itonoko. What did you think he was? Like, he's kind of a dunce, but he's not. I don't know. Mayo has like such weird opinions of people. It's just like, so you are actually not a dick. Wow. He's like a nice guy. He's trying his best, okay? He's just like not very good at his job. But other than that, come on, Mayoi. Cut him some slack. Jeez. Discrimination. Just savage. Just insulting everyone. I love it. 何でもいいけど、今なら情報を集めやすそう、情報は集めやすそうだな。And immediately we think of abusing the situation. We abuse his weakness because it's what we do. So Naruhodo is saying, well, it doesn't really matter. 何でもいいけど, he's like saying like, whatever. 今なら情報を集めやすそうだな。よ。集めやすそうだな。This is actually a good one to pick apart here. Take a chance on me. What does it say? 情報 means information. And then 集めやすそう. So there's like 3 parts in this. First of all, the main verb is of course 集める. Quiz time. Okay, wait. I'm gonna give you a quiz. You're not allowed to Google it or look it up in a dictionary, okay? When you have 集める like this, right? So 集める would be like this. 集める, okay? Now the quiz. What is this? Do you know this one? That's another reading of this kanji. It's somewhat uncommon, but it's also not super uncommon, so you might know it. Don't look it up though. If you don't know it, I'll tell you in a bit. That's my quiz for you, okay? Not for some guy though. He's like 20 minutes behind. Yeah, 集う. 人読みがある. It's 集う. Which is, you know, you'll see it. 集う means to sort of assemble. I'm pretty sure that 集う in terms of meaning is like the same, kind of. But it is kind of more fancy. I don't know. It just means to assemble, to congregate. It's kind of the difference of like to gather and to congregate. They kind of mean the same thing. FSR used that reading. Yeah, you see it sometimes, 集う. It's a pretty cool word, 集う. Alright, but back to more important business, such as what is going on with this conjugation here. Well, so first of all, we have 集める, of course, which means to gather or to collect. And in the way that it's used here, very straightforwardly, gathering information. 情報を集める. So, base form is 集める. And then here we have 集め. So it stops here. So this is one part. And then やす is one part. And then そう is one part. Oops, that's not where the thing goes. ここに検索が集う. I think the line was 探索が集う. Oh, okay. Like 探索 I think like 探検隊. That's what I think of. So we have 集める. So what are the parts? It's fairly straightforward actually if you look at it. So because 集める is an 一段 verb. So this is 一段. It's mas stem is simply just removing the. So if we remove we now have the stem. So we would call this like mas stem or renyoke. So this is just mas stem. Oops. My handwriting is falling apart. But now I'm only falling apart. I need space here, so I'm deleting this. And then we have an auxiliary, which is yasui. So 集めやすい. Whenever you have mas stem plus yasui, it just means easy to. And then we're basically almost done. Easy to or trivial to do something. This yasui here is not cheap. It's actually the other one. So it's this one. 1 second. I pressed the button too fast last time. Yasui, which means easy to. It's a suffix, and you can even see it explained here after mas stem of verb. So when you take a verb and you put a mas stem and you add yasui, it just means it's easy to do something. It's not difficult. It's the opposite of difficult, really. So, and then obviously yasui here acts as, I think this is sometimes straight up called like an auxiliary adjective. I have heard that before. I don't know if you like that term. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. The point is that yasui here acts a lot like an adjective because it kind of works like an e-adjective, right? If you look at the way it looks, it's literally, it works exactly the way it looks. It conjugates exactly like an e-adjective. So what do we know about e-adjectives? Well, when you have an e-adjective, you can kind of get rid of the e and add so to mean it seems like that. So instead of yasui, you would end up with yasuso. Whoops. Yasuso, which means, you know, seems easy. And then you just combine those two. So, seems easy to gather. Yeah, exactly. So this is essentially just Naruhodo making this like judgment call, being like, well, right now, because he's sympathizing with us, because remember, that's the conversation they're having, Itonoko just explained to us that he sympathizes. Like, he says, I feel bad for you guys. So Naruhodo, being the manipulative dark triad person that he is, in his Machiavellian brain immediately says, oh, well, that's great. If he empathizes with us, we can manipulate him. Or rather, he says, well, right now, it seems really easy to get information out of him. Like, 今なら, if right now, 情報集めやすそうだな. It seems easy to gather information right now. Cheap vegetables rest easy. Yasui. 安い野菜が休みやすい. Well, 休みやすい doesn't really mean rest easy, because rest easy means to not be worried, which is more like 安心する, right? But I guess the pun does kind of work. I'm not sure. Soda, hearsay. No, hearsay would be da soda. Usually. So for this kind of thing would be hearsay would be atsume yasui soda. Yeah. It's so it depends, right? For things that are more noun, like it'd be da soda, and then for e-adjectives would be yasui soda. That would be hearsay. It's a tricky one, but if you have the e-adjective in place, then seems would be yasuso, and hearsay would be yasui soda, or just yasui so. But usually it's with da. Actually, I hear it more common with da. Yeah, that's rest easy in a very literal sense. Yeah, of course. I just felt like I needed to point it out. Had a meltdown. Soda hearsay seem. Oh yeah, there you go, Valara. やりやすそう、やりやすいそうの違いを説明せよ. Oh yeah, there you go. So Henry also brought up that we should explain the difference. Difference. Yeah, well, there you go. A real gold nugget for you all. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's continue though. Machiavellian Eve is my favorite. Is it? Is he, I should say. 話す事件のあらまし You know, I'm not sure what あらまし is. Is it like あらすじ あらまし Outline, summary. That's very similar to あらすじ, no? Interesting. It's probably similar then. What is daro again? Well, daro is just usually daro is for stating a sort of I think statement. It's like a hello, some guy. You must have been so behind, like 15 minutes or something. It was so funny, like suddenly I guess it's the disadvantage of the DVR feature. It was really funny just you answering a question I asked like 15 minutes ago. Machiavelli. Nice. Machiavellistoibu. Nice. Yeah, daro is for saying like making a statement of like, I think, or it's likely that, or surely, that kind of thing. そうだろう. Like, I'm sure that's it. Yeah, kind of like that. So, aramashi means outline, summary. Interesting. So I was thinking more arasuji, which is very similar. It means kind of the same thing. Arasuji. Outline, summary, argument. So, I guess. Should we go down this rabbit hole? I vote no. Because I don't think there's much to be learned here. Sometimes, you know, it's just like people say pick your fights, pick your hills to die on. I don't think the hill of... What's the difference between aramashi and arasuji is the hill that we want to die on right now. Because it's really just going to be like one article and there's just like a bunch of stuff explained just for us to be like, oh, so they're just kind of similar. This reminds me of when we were looking up... Oh, what was it? Ayakumi sent me the article of something, and it kind of left us thinking, oh, okay, so they're pretty similar. It's like, okay. It's technically the volitional form. Yeah, it is technically the volitional of da. Yeah. But using the volitional and copula in a different meaning from a... It's, I guess it's a little bit more broad, but then volitional is already a weird form because it's used for kind of different things. How do you say grammatical function of daro in Japanese? Function is interesting. 使い方? 文法的. I would say it uses either 文法的 or something like that. Corporate asks you to tell the difference between these two words. They're the same word. They are the same word. Believe it or not. These words, we made them up. They're based. It's for... It's suiryo. Oh, suiryo? Interesting. I guess there must be like more like straightforward like linguistic terms. Reminds me when somebody asks in English, what's the difference between I like to cook and I like cooking? Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? You could probably spend a few hours on that one without really making any progress in your language ability. Itonoko-san, 事件のこと教えてください. Please tell us about the case. そうっすね。ちょっとそれを立場的に I had to really think there. It's 立場。それは立場的に well, considering this could mean a bunch of things. Considering my standpoint, considering our standpoint. I'm gonna try and see the next sentence so that we can find a better translation. But yeah, yeah, 立場. Yeah, I was like my brain like turned off. そうっすね。ちょっとそれは立場的に I think he's trying to say from my standpoint. Okay, so because there is no added, he definitely means like, you know, I can't really tell you too much. You know, I'm working on the case. Like, in my point, from my point, right, from where I'm at, from what I'm doing, I can't. Bunch of linguistic word for how to describe different types of grammar. Yeah, there would be, right? 私たち一生懸命やったんです. Damn, dude, Mayoi rolls for manipulation. What is it? What's she rolling? それなのに、それが裏目に出ちゃって。Dude, that's a nat 20. わかったっす. It is a nat 20. It's a nat 20. It's a crit. She crit it. That's so manipulative. I like that. That's great. She literally just... Mayoi, she's incredibly manipulative. That's amazing. She just rolled a nat 20 on manipulate. わかったっす. 教えるっす. だから泣いちゃダメっす. Like... That's one hell of a gaslight gatekeep girl boss moment. She was like, oh man, we're trying our best, and then it backfired on us, and she's crying too. So she's ulting. わかったっす。教えるっす。だから泣いちゃダメっす。Okay, okay, I got it. I'll tell you, okay, but don't cry. 私泣かないっす. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. That was easy. See, guys, that's how you get people to do things you want, I guess. Oh, what was his name? There, Busujima. He is kind of busu, so yeah. Busujima Kurobe. Busujima Kurobe. それが被害者の名前っす. They really like their their be names, like the be. My favorite name, Kurobe. 警備の社長で、それは油切った親父さんっす。油切った。I mean, 油 means oil or fat or whatever, but 油切る。 To become greasy. To be loud and garish. Garish? Garish. Garish seems like a really fancy word that people don't really use, but okay. 油切ったおじさんす. So he's like a loud and garish like middle-aged man. Nanashi no. How you read that? That you would read that like, I don't know what the what's the nanori of like kenryoku. Would it just be kenbei or something? Kenbei reminds me of senbei. それは gets used more in British English. So yeah, this phrase here, それは is essentially just saying like putting emphasis. He's like, well, he really was whatever, right? 油切った親父さんす. So he was this like loud and garish middle-aged man, old man. Oyaji could be an old man or like a middle-aged man. You could tell how old he is from the picture, more or less. Gombe. 社長の死体が発見されたのは今朝の9時頃っす。9時頃っすが、the time when his body was found was around this morning at 9 a.m. But 殺害されたのは9月12日の午前1時頃っす。But he was killed at around like September 12 at 1 in the morning. Let me guess, he was stuffed into his save, right? Gaudy more here in the US. I have heard gaudy, garish. Garish is fun to say, I guess. この部屋にあった置物でカツンと殴られたのが死因っす。So the cause of death, which is 死因 being cause of death. The cause of death is he was hit by a piece of, well, you could call it furniture, but not really. Okimono is something you put somewhere. I never have a good word for okimono because it's so straightforward. What do they translate okimono as? An ornament. I just think it's so funny that in Japanese, it's literally okimono, thing that you put. And in English, it's so fancy, like ornament. Like ornament sounds so fancy. Whereas okimono sounds so, well, blunt object would imply sort of like its shape, but okimono doesn't imply any shape. But so like anything is an okimono, like, well, not really anything. Usually an okimono is a decoration without function. So you wouldn't usually say that, like, you know, a bottle or something is an okimono, even though you oku, like you put it somewhere. Like table no ue ni oku bottle wouldn't be an okimono just because you put it there. But generally, anything that is kind of like, you know, I'm an okimono, sure, maybe. I can be whatever you want me to be. As long as you join YouTube membership. Hey, got him. No, so it's just like an object. It's an object you place somewhere. It's an ornament, you know, like a decorative object. The point usually is that it's definitely not very functional. It could be a clock or a watch, though. That could be like a clock, like a desk clock could be like an okimono, theoretically, even though it has, paperweight would be a good okimono, literally. It could be a lamp, I guess. Like a lamp could be an okimono, so it can kind of have some function. If you remember long ago, in the very first case of Ace Attorney 1, the murder weapon is a clock. I think it's like a really ugly desktop clock, I think, or watch or whatever, and they called it an okimono the whole time. Figure, yeah, I don't know. No particular reason for being. I mean, you know, I feel like I have a lot of reason for being. Garish timepiece, yeah, exactly. So yeah, he was the cause of death was him being hit with an ornament in this room, from this room. 仮面マスクが壺を盗んだ時間とぴったりか. So it fits exactly with the time when Kamen Mask stole the vase. 臼島黒兵衛の解剖記録. So his autopsy report tells us 死亡推定時刻は12日の午前1時頃。死因は頭部I should know this. It's Goda. No, is it what is it? It's not Koda. It's not Goda. What is it? It's Oda. Yeah, I remembered. It's what they say in British Parliament. Order! Order! That's what they say. They speak. You may not have known this, but they actually speak Japanese in the British Parliament. It's a tradition. So they say order, and they mean this word. Order. Strike, hit, blow. Kind of blows. I haven't added many words to the vocab list today. I just noticed. The Queen's Japanese. Yeah, exactly. So let's go again. Let's go through it again. 死亡推定時刻は So the estimated time of death is 12日の午前1時頃 So around 1 a.m. on the 12th. And then 死因は、後部殴打による内 I guess you would read it as 内出血 right? Which means internal bleeding due to being hit on the head with a blunt object. Well, to being hit on the head. Doesn't really have to be a blunt object, I guess. It's either I don't think it's uchi shuketsu, so it'd be like nai shuketsu. Yeah, it would be nai shuketsu. Yeah, nai shuketsu. Even though that sounds wrong to say. I don't like to say that. Nai shuketsu. Just it seems so wordy. But it is what it is. At least the meaning is very easy. I've always liked the word shuketsu because it literally just means for blood to come out. Deruchi. It's like blood that comes out. So, you know, it makes sense. It just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. It just works. It's like an Apple computer. どうして丸一日も死体が発見されなかったんですか? Why didn't they find the body for almost a day? Why indeed? やむを得なかったっす. やむを得なかったっす. Well, it couldn't be helped. やむを得ない means can't be helped. Nothing I can do. It's nothing I can do. Total eclipse of the heart. I'm gonna get copyright for this. I've never gotten copyrighted for my singing. That means it's not good enough. We need to try harder. I will not rest until this channel gets deleted off the face of the earth for my immaculate reproduction of famous songs. That's my new goal. That's the 2023 goal, really. Is to get banned because my singing's too good. 女王様の What's that? 英本語? People say is that a real Nihon? Oh, you're making a pun with Nihongo. I get it. やむを得なかったっす. Couldn't be helped. My tea is cold, by the way, if you were wondering. It's very cold now. ブス島の死体はそこの大金庫 would be 大金庫 sounds weird. 大金庫の中に入っていたっすから. I think 大 would be oh gosh. Here's one thing that I can't deal with, which is I never know when you have the prefix o dai, which one it is. Like dai is more common, I'm pretty sure. 大金庫. That sounds weird to say. Kinko sounds so close to another word. It could be Thai, but I don't think it's Thai. Thai sounds very wrong to me. Someone just followed me on Twitch. Thanks. I'm not live on Twitch right now, but you know, I'll take it. I should get like notification things for the YouTube stuff set up as well. But then I don't have to because y'all don't send super chats. So, we don't need notifications. It would die, I'm pretty sure. It's me. There you go. But there is Tai Senso. I guess there is, huh? I also remember Peter calling Japanese beginner English speaker Ehongo. That's interesting. Nihonglish. We're just gonna go with Daikinko no Nakani. So inside the big save. Inside the big locker thingy. Daikinko. 確かにでかい金庫だな. That is a very big safe. 社長に連絡が取れず、今朝金庫を開けてみたら we couldn't get in contact. Like no one could get in contact with the chief. And then this morning when we opened the safe, he just kind of plopped out, didn't he? 死体が転がり出したと. The body just fell out is what you're saying. This to here is him saying like, so you're saying that essentially. You are saying that the body just fell out. あのロープが死体の跡だな. And that rope shows the body, the outline of the body. 跡 means like it can mean a scar, but here it means like a left behind thing. No, not like a trace, or I guess a trace would be good. A lot of different ways of translating ato here. Obviously, outline makes sense, but it's not really outline. Outline is rinkaku, But ato here, trace. I guess, you know, a trace, mark, sign. So site, remains, ruins, scar. Obviously not scar, but yeah, that's what it means here, right? Cleared up a lot of Hongo BS for me. That's good. Good for Cure. I'm proud of them. Means of Google and YouTube. I don't pay with my bank account. Well, there's other ways to pay. I hear on textbook Japanese where they're trying to enforce English grammar conventions in the Japanese language. Yes. You know, it's so sad too, because when I first learned Japanese grammar, I actually found that it has a lot in common with other languages. It's just some things it doesn't, but I feel like there is a reasonable way to approach learning Japanese that draws comparisons to English and other languages, which you can do. So, like, for example, right, the way that a adverb functions in Japanese isn't much different than it works in English. It's kind of the same thing. It's like an adverb is just kind of there to describe an action, usually, right? That's in a very broad strokes. So I find it sad that some people sort of do such a poor job at like convoluting the two, or like sort of to how to say, a lot of people do such a bad job at, like, even textbooks do this, at like drawing the wrong comparisons where it's like, oh yeah, it's like that, when it's not really, when there are things that you could say are very similar. And it's the same, like a lot of the like very basic grammar, sort of like the broad analysis of a sentence, is the same for either language. A subject is just a subject, you know? If you have the subject of a sentence in Japanese, it's the same thing as a subject of a sentence in English, you know? It does the same thing. It's usually just the actor or doer of an action. So you can draw these comparisons, and you can use the knowledge that you have from another language. But what you shouldn't do is assume things like direct translations to work, which I see people do way too often when they try and get started. But I guess it is fairly understandable, because it's all you got, so you try and like make it work with the knowledge that is in your brain. Yeah, knowing Spanish really helps with certain aspects, like the 5 vowels dropping a subject in sentence, conjugations, verbs. Yeah, it's always sus for me though. I'm always sus when, this is just me based on my experience, like for those of you who have been here long enough and have like maybe browsed the YouTube channel, about a year or two ago, I did a long, like 1.5 hour stream all about pronunciation. And for that stream, and even like coming up on that stream, I did a lot of reading about Japanese phonology and like Japanese, like just phonetics in general. And even just the surface level stuff that I know, because I'm not an expert. I don't know that much about phonology and stuff. I read the Wikipedia article, right? I'm like very much amateur level. The issue is though that in my experience, what people don't realize is like 8 times out of 10, when someone says, oh yes, this word in Japanese, the pronunciation is just like in this other language. In my experience, like 8 times out of 10, they're wrong in a very subtle way. So I never trust anyone when they say like, oh yeah, this is the same one as in my language. I'm like, is it though? Because it's so, there's so many like subtle differences with stuff. So then I don't trust people. When they say that, I just don't trust them. And sometimes it turns out to be true. But for example, one thing I could say is that like, oh, you know, like the Japanese vowel is just like the German umlaut ü, but it's not really, is it? Because this is and this is ü, and these are different. Even though and ü are right, but they're different. They're not the same. So that's what I see people do. Is like, oh yeah, they're close enough, so that means they're the same. But that's not true, and I find it misleading because I don't know. Maybe that's from my. I have like saying that something is the same to be. Is a very strong statement. It's like in math. If you do math, I used to tutor math, and I went on and on to like people that I would tutor about how nice the equal sign is, because it's one of the strongest relationships that 2 objects in math can have for them to actually be equal. That's such a strong statement, and I kind of have this view of using equating 2 things in language as well, that like it takes a lot for me to say, oh, it's literally the same. Because usually it's not. But yeah, I don't know. Like an equal is such a strong relationship to be able to say that. Because in math, equal is powerful because once you have an equal sign, you're like A is equal to B, and then B might show up somewhere else, but you don't know that much about B, but you might know a lot about A. And if you know they're equal, you can just substitute, and that's really powerful, right? That's like the whole, I mean, that's like the whole deal with algebra, basically, right? That's why algebra is useful. And like once you know that one thing is like another, and you can apply all its properties to it, then it becomes really powerful. Which is why I'm hesitant to just say like, oh yeah, it's the same. I'd rather say they're similar because I mean it doesn't cost me anything to use the word similar instead, right? When I find it more accurate. I remember my teacher saying my native language is always pronounced how it's written, and then you grow up realize how horribly wrong that is. That's usually not true for most languages, yeah, but even in Japanese that's not true, right? You have pitch, you have changes, you have devoicing of vowels, which you cannot see in the written language. Yeah. Yeah, it's usually close enough. Yeah, also, I'm not saying this because people are like, I'm not saying like people are willingly spreading misinformation. It's usually just that it actually is really difficult to become aware of these things. Like you see how many people struggle with getting rid of an accent or something like that. I am fascinated by that. Every time I talk to someone about language, one of the topics that I always touch on is accents and people's stance on accent training, their own accents, because usually the people I talk to will be ESL. It's just an internet thing, right? If you're going around on the internet, I would say it's like 30-60, where 30%. Or sorry, 30-70. 30% are native English speakers, and the other 70% are usually ESL people, because just in terms of statistics. And I always find it fascinating for people to talk about accents, and it'll be like, well, do you care about your accent? Do you notice your own accent? Are you actively trying to get rid of it? How do you do it? It's a very interesting thing to me. Like people struggling with certain sounds and stuff, and like even my own struggles that I have saying stuff like 6th Street, which I hate to say. I don't know. I think it's fascinating stuff. And a lot of it is like it takes hearing and production. Like you need to train your mouth muscles, but you also need to train your hearing. So yeah, if you care about these things, it's also fascinating to talk to people who say they don't really care, because it's a different approach to mine. Because I do care, but I would never say like, oh, you must care. It's very important. But I think subjectively, you can either say it's important to me or it is not. It's actually difficult. Yeah. When my girlfriend is from the Philippines, and she sometimes teaches me some Tagalog, and then I'll try and say it, and she says like, oh, I'm really good at getting the sound, but it will happen like every time that there will be a word where I'll try and pronounce it, and then she says, that's perfect, and I'll try it again, and she's like, no, you're off now. And in my brain it sounds exactly the same. And I'm sure all of us, we've had this kind of experience trying to talk to our friends that speak other languages. They try to teach us like one specific word, and then you say it, and then maybe they say, oh, you nailed it. And then you try exactly the same again, but your brain just can't do it yet. Like your muscles haven't trained that sound yet. And you just try and say it. It sounds the same to you, and they tell you, no, you got it wrong there. And yeah, and then I also, man, I find it so rough too. Sorry, I'm going on such a huge tangent. I hope you don't mind. I don't know. You can, if you're watching the VOD, you can skip this if you want. I find it great too, like, it's very difficult trying to teach someone a word in your native language with all the little pronunciation things in mind, especially when they're getting like 99% there, but not 100. And the devious thing about being a native speaker is you're very good at detecting the 1%. Like someone can say something 99% perfectly, but if there's 1% that kind of gives it all away, which is probably similar to my English, where like most native English speakers will probably say, I don't know, I've been told this, so I think it's fine for me to say that I'm like somewhere between 95 and 99% there, but not 100. It's not 100, and I feel any native speaker should notice after a while, or maybe even immediately, depending on what words I say and how I say them. And it's so interesting when I say, like, because my native language is German, so sometimes I try and teach my girlfriend some German words, and then she'll like almost get it perfect, but not quite. And I don't know what to say to people in that moment. Like, it must be so difficult. I imagine the job of like an accent coach to be really difficult. You have to sort of build a vocabulary for communicating to people what they're doing wrong. because at some point it becomes so subtle. And I'll try and like hear like, oh, the way that the N was pronounced in that word sounded slightly off. So maybe she was doing like N in the back with like instead of But and then I said, like, try that, and it still sounds off. So I'm like, well, I guess that wasn't it. It becomes really difficult to tell people like what exactly they're still doing wrong when they're at like 95, 99%, right? That 1%, it becomes almost impossible to teach in the moment. You just have to like let it go and be like, you're almost there. Just like you need to do listening practice to get a feeling for how it's supposed to sound, I think. Whew, okay. Huge tangent. She can understand German? No. It's just I try and teach her words, and then, you know, sometimes it takes a while, and sometimes she's really good at like immediately imitating the sound, and sometimes not. But it is what it is. Allergic to talking. I find it crazy learning that D in Spanish in many cases is pronounced like a voiced TH. Your brain really autocorrects the TH to a D if you're expecting to hear a D. Very insightful. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I get to be called insightful on this internet of ours. 死体が転がり出したと、あのロープが死体の跡だな。So then the body fell out of the safe and the rope is there to trace the body. Why does it say iroha? Oh, that's a thing, right? If I remember correctly. Or is it? Am I gaslighting myself? Is iroha used as like a numbering thing? Iroha thing? Is that... Because iroha is like is like one way to order the kana, no? Oh god, I don't know anymore. Do you tone down your accent? Well, I mean, my girlfriend doesn't understand any German, even if I tone down my accent. Like, my German friends don't even understand me when I speak Swiss German, so yeah. On the edge of triggering my native, non-native detector. If I didn't know, I'd be thinking this is a non-native guy used to be partly American, partly England. I think it's basically the occasional S being slightly too voice V, some turning U, but a rare occasion here someone would hear without trying to. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been told. Yeah, iroha. Oh god. Iroha Naruhodo. I don't know. Yeah, it's from the Iroha poem. But what I'm trying to remember is iroha used as like sort of a numbering thing? Because they put the signs on the bottom, and usually I'd expect there to be like a 1, 2, 3. So now I can't remember if iroha is used as like, oh, this is item 1, this is item 2. But I think so. I think it's used for, yeah, so okay, yeah, Tenten confirms it, Henry confirms it. So it's used as like a numbering thing. So usually you'd have like 1, 2, 3, but you can also have iroha, and it goes on. Yeah. I used to think it's a Toho song. I mean, you know. とりあえず、マスジ、wait. ムスジマさんの情報もっと欲しいね。Anyways, I want more information. We would want more information about Musujima san. His name is Busujima. Iroha Nihoeto. Nihoeto. Ah. Fun fact, he used the 7-note names for music. Oh, okay, interesting. Nice. ドレミファソラティド。確かに、そもそも名前間違って覚えてるし。True. And she also is misremembering the name. Alright, 愛が探偵。Detective 愛が。愛が足りない。That's like Romane Conti. Betelgeuse Romane Conti used to say 愛が a lot. 愛が。Flat. Hang. Yeah, I think you've 変更長調 or something. Sharp. Oh god. A. Music terms is a whole nother can of worms. それで仮面マスクはどうなりました? So then what happens to that's it's ロチョウチョ変ロチョウチョ B flat major. Okay. それで仮面マスクはどうなりました? So then what happened to 仮面マスク? 留置場で恨めしげな悲鳴を上げてるっす. Well, he's just kind of screaming creepily at the holding cell. 恨めしげ. We talked about ge being used for these types of words, I think last time? I think last Sunday or something with the ge. 恨めしげ, like kind of like sort of being in having that mind state. Like he's bitter, he's hateful, right? He's like he's shouting those hateful shouts. Or bitter, yeah. Bitter, probably better in this case instead of hateful. Purple and silver or white suits this room better. Do you want to redecorate it? Maybe next time we'll just have Photoshop and we'll redecorate the room rather than to extreme. もう一度調べてくださいって He's just screaming about, please investigate again. いやいや、怪人の正体はそっちじゃないでしょ。No, no, no. The real identity of the thief isn't that. Oh, so okay. Itonoko was actually still thinking that it's Yusaku, and Yusaku apparently is still screaming about how he is the actual thief. So that guy is cuckoo. He's bananas. He's strawberries and all other types of fruits, whether they be real fruit or not. Oh, sorry, that's Naruhodo who said that. そっちじゃないでしょ. That's not the real identity of the thief. 探偵の星岳愛がっすか。Oh, right. It's that detective 星岳愛が。いい気味っす。ざまみろっす。最高っす。わははっす。Serves you right. Right. That's what you get. は。いつもの調子が出てきたよ、なるほどくん。Now he's always he's back to his usual self. What if he actually is trying to get away from wife lady? I don't know, she's so nice. Marika is really nice though. She's cute. But maybe there's always uramen. There's always another side. 裏があるよ。その暗闇の中に一体何が宿っているか知るすべもない。裏側。Yeah. いつもの調子が出てきたよ、なるほどくん。There he is. There it is again, that funny feeling. 怪人の予告書が届くと必ずあの探偵が現れたっす。So whenever there was a letter of announcement, like this 予告書, which is the letter that the thief would always send, sort of like, hey, I'm coming, you can't do anything about it. That's what he would do. Then 必ずあの探偵が現れたっす。現れた. That's how you read it. So he would always show up. Whenever there's one of those letters, he would show up. Without fail. I guess you only say without fail, huh? Not without failure. Well, no, is that true? Do you sometimes say without failure? Without failure, he would show up. I don't know. That sounds weird-ish. I don't know, though. Calling card. It's kind of a calling card, but it's more like a card of announcement. Only without fail. Yeah, without fail. Okay, that makes sense. Because yokoku is specifically an announcement, like you said it beforehand. So this yokokusho is... Yokokusho. No, yokoku... Is it yokokujo? It's yokokujo. Dude, I can never remember whether it's sho or jo. It's one of those. It's not even in the dictionary, but it's because you can see advance notice. So usually this would be before he actually steals anything. He would send a card to be like, "Ooh, I'm coming," brr, like that. Without failure sounds weird. Without fail is the idiom. Yeah. Collocation. でも肝心な犯行の瞬間、探偵はいつも姿を消していた。But then at the actual time when the crime would happen, he would always disappear. Suspicious. Captain Long Nose over here. Pinocchio ass looking dude. As expected of a liar. Lying. Still lying. 現場の近くに隠れていたと奴は言っていたっすが。And then he would say something like, oh, I was hiding close to the scene of the crime. 何のことはないっす。何のことはないっす。あいつ自身が怪人だったっす。Yeah, I feel like you'd say like あんなこと or something. I don't know. 何のこと。So, but then like that's not true at all. Like that wasn't it at all. あいつ自身が怪人だったっす。But he himself was the thief all along. He secretly hides a bullet in his nose. He's like, and then someone just falls over. He's got extreme nose blow strength. Yeah, you can tell by the nose. The nose is the first thing you see. He comes at you nose first. He'll like poke you in the eye. Can take someone's eye out with that nose. 確かに彼自身が怪人なら獲物を取り戻すのも自由自在だ. Well, like, of course, if he himself has been the culprit all along, then getting back all the stolen goods is trivial. 自由自在, which is kind of like, you know, it's easy, it's free for you, you know, you can do it whenever. 自由自在. あれは自由だ. Okay, free. 自由自在. Free, unrestricted, complete mastery, control, completely in control, right? So, you can do whatever. Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I don't know. I never really watched Phineas and Ferb, you know? It wasn't really on. It wasn't really on when I was watching TV. I only watched like a few episodes. I feel like nan no koto makes it sound like nothing of the sort. Yeah, I mean, that's how I would interpret it. Yeah. My favorite. 自分の顔を売るためにそんなことまでするとは. To think that he would go so far just to be able to like advertise himself. 自分の顔を売るため is literally like sell your own face. But obviously he's saying like to you know, to advertise himself, to make himself look good. I think actually to make himself look good is a better translation. あ、ただ1回目の犯行だけは but well on the very first crime 1回目の犯行だけは like on the very first trial only the times you did watch it was in German. Yeah, I didn't I talked about this in the past, but my childhood from like being born all the way up to about being 10 years old, I wasn't really exposed to anything English. It was all just Swiss German or German. Like all the TV I watched was German. There was no English TV. And even if there was, I wouldn't have watched it. I didn't know English. So yeah, I grew up 100% monolingual. I did not speak other languages until I was about 12 or so. That's when I was around 10 or 12 is when I really started getting into learning English, kind of coincidentally. Right? It's not like I was planning to, but I just started watching a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of like TV shows in English because I wanted to. But it's not like, it wasn't like me planning for the future. It was just me being bored and addicted to watching stuff online. So yeah. But yeah, I grew up completely just only speaking one language. My parents only spoke one language and everyone around me only spoke one language. So yeah. 1回目の犯行だけは 1回目 The first one エマノンの涙盗難事件っすその時は目撃者がいたっす So we have エマノンの涙盗難事件 盗難 Yeah Is 盗難 just like oh theft it just means theft For some reason I focus so much on the 難しい the 難 that I always think it must have something to do with difficult, but it doesn't. It just means theft. 盗難事件 So the case of the robbery of the Tears of Imano. At that time there was a witness. Isn't English class mandatory? Yes, but when I started English class I was like 12. So in usually here in Switzerland, the way the school system works is that you would do just like kindergarten, right? For a few years. And then it's just like 3 groups of 3. So you have primary school for 3 years. And you have middle school for 3 years. And then you would do high school for 3 years. And then, you know, you would basically be done with school for the most part. 8 and 9. This is the basic school, and then if here you could get a job, you could, or not get a job, you could get like an apprenticeship, right? Start like, is apprentice with 1P? I don't even know. Whatever. Or there's a bunch of branching paths. So here you can branch, and you could go to a so-called like gymnasium, which is like a grammar school, where you would do another 4 years. So you would do 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you do 4 years. From, is that true? No, you would do 6 actually, is 10, 11. Yeah. Yeah, you would do 6 years, I think. Is that right? I think so. So 8, 9, 10, and then 11 and 12. And then after this, you can get into uni without an exam. So this is kind of like a preparatory kind of school. You would just go into university almost right away. And you can also do, starting from grade 8, you can do 9, 10, 11, and 12 like this at the same school, and then go to uni if you want to. By the way, this is what I did. I did normal school up to grade 7, and then I went to this preparatory school, and then I went to university, and then I dropped out of university. And now I don't have a degree, but it's what I did. So anyways, when I did school, English classes started here in grade 7. This is my first English class here. I was, I think, around 10. This is like 10 to 12, I think. Yeah, kind of. No, it was probably around 12, actually. Because I remember starting this prep school around 13, 14. So yeah, this was around 12 years old. That was my first English class. My first French class was here in grade 5. Because French is a national language in Switzerland. So that was my first French class. After I entered school, the people that entered a year or 2 after me, they would actually start what they called early English. And I think they started English class like somewhere here. So they had their first English class way earlier. But that's not true for me. I had my first English class in high school. I did not have any English classes until high school before that. All right. So what are people posting in chat? I was just finishing my story before I get like way too, whatever. Funny, I grew up with German cartoons. In addition to native tongues, I had to learn English to use DOS computers. Nice. It's the same for me. Pretty much no English until age 12. Yep. Too complicated. They start earlier. Yeah, exactly. So they changed the system pretty much right after my time. Kind of. Not really my time. It's just I was still in the old system. Extracurricular English class in grade 2. I went there like twice and didn't learn anything new, so I left. People talk about how second languages aren't a priority in American schools, but I think it's a bigger part is America have less motivation to remember it outside of school. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's rough. If I grew up speaking English, I don't know if I would have learned another language. Certainly not Spanish, probably. Like, I don't think I would have been one of the people learning Spanish. I might have still learned Japanese, though. But it's like all like my main motivation was always just like to watch media, so like read manga, like consume media is like the primary motivation. But if you're speaking English already, you can already consume like 90% of relevant media. So then it really becomes less of a priority, I think. Yeah. But like learning a second language, if you're not spending a lot of time online or watching TV shows and stuff, and you care about dub versus sub versus whatever original, then here in Switzerland, even learning English isn't that important. I know a lot of people my age that speak no or poor English at best that wouldn't be able to watch like a TV show because they just don't need to. It's just like it's not needed in their job. It's not needed with their hobbies. So then you end up just like not needing it and not learning it. So yeah. I think it's very difficult. It's super hard. I think if we wanted to have schools that are more effective at teaching languages, we just need to kind of change the way we teach languages at school. It just needs to be like more fun because, man, it's so hard. Like children are not going to get motivated by just you telling them to learn a bunch of vocab and then testing them on it. It's just never going to, it's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. They need to like make it more fun, I think. I don't know how. I've thought a lot about like what you could do, but I'm like, I see, by the way, hello Fisco. I definitely see a lot, I have a lot of sympathy for like teachers in general to try and change the environment. There are things where I'm like, why don't we just do this? Like, for example, I see this a lot in like, oh, 1 second. I see this a lot, like with Japanese schools or like Asian countries. What I'm told, what people experience, but also schools here in Europe and schools in America, where it's just like it seems so weird. Where I feel like we are well aware that after like 4 to 6 hours of paying attention, you're just kind of done. I feel like we all know this. It's like an established scientific fact. After like 4 to 6 hours of paying attention to something, you should be able to go home. it's like we all know this, and yet we make children from like the age of 10, we make them stay like 8 hours in school a day. What for? What? It's like there's no point. We all know it doesn't work. I still do it. We're like, we've always done it. I don't know. Bread is flour and water. Why would we change that? I don't know. This just seems so dumb to me. And like the same with like giving people tons of homework and then they don't do it. We all know no one did homework. The more homework you have, the less of it you will do. And then all the stress. Like I see this a lot. I see this a lot in like from the way it's depicted, but also just like real stories told, especially in like Asian countries in high school. I don't know why I don't know why there's such a thing with like putting so much pressure on high schoolers. Like, why couldn't we offload that on like a different part of their life, or not have that? I don't know. It just seems so strange. I don't know. So there are some things where I'm like, we could just change that. Like we could just flip a switch and change that, and I think we would all agree that it's better. But who knows? There's other things though. Like for example, we would all say like, of course it would be better if one teacher could teach like 3 to 5 children at most. But I just don't think that's reasonable. Like, I don't know, how would you, you can't, there's just not enough teachers. There is not enough people. That doesn't seem, I don't know how you would solve that problem. Like, I know it's a problem of having 30 people in a class, but I don't know what the solution is there. I don't know what the solution is. Teachers already underpaid, so you're not going to hire more of them, right? Because clearly people can't afford, and then I don't know what the solution. That's way more complicated. There's some things I feel like we could just change, and then some things I don't know how to change. Like I have no idea how to get a class of 30 people interested in a subject all at once. It seems impossible. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff where I'm like, surely that would be better. But there's also a ton of stuff where I'm like, I have no idea what the solution is. I have no idea how to make that better. All right. It works very poorly for language. Yeah, classroom format for language is like, because like even when I try and like teach people Japanese, this is why, here's actually why I don't really pursue tutoring Japanese. I never pursued tutoring much. I always kept it open as like a thing that I could do, and I've tutored some people, but it was never really something that I felt was very fulfilling, because there's really two types of students. There is the types of students where you tutor them, where they're very self-sufficient. They're like, you just give them pointers and you give them some like stuff, like material, and they'll just do it. And it's great. But then after a while, you kind of notice that like, you're like, you don't need me. If you have a question, send me a Discord message and I'll answer it. Like, you don't need me to sit here for an hour. Like, we both understand that this is not it, right? Like, you can just do your thing. If you have a question, I can answer it or I can help, but more as like a friend or a thing. I just like send me a DM. It's pointless for me to be here like an hour for you. Like, I just don't. Yeah, and then there's other type of student which like needs that, but then I just don't really understand. I don't deal with it well. I so much prefer to just be live and just rant about random stuff and then try and help lots of people at once to sort of give pointers, give motivations, and like spread out like materials and be like, hey, here's a thing you can read. Here's a free guide online. Here's this, here's that. I feel like I'm making more of a positive impact on people's journey than just picking one person and trying to tutor them. Because if someone's trying to learn, they don't need me to tutor. They just need like hints and shoves in the right direction. Maybe I'll answer a question every now and then. And then they're good, and they'll go and read something or watch something, and they'll get better. And I've seen people do that literally in this community, lots of people. But which is why I never really thought that if you want to like help people learn, I don't think tutoring is really the way. So yeah, but that's kind of, you know, yeah, I don't know. Talk about a second language. I have so much chat to catch up on. Difficult for a curriculum. I don't think it works as a mandatory thing. Yeah, it's difficult. Thing that how about language can be used to talk about anything. I think getting the kids to talk about their interests. Yeah, maybe. But then put yourself back into like your 15-year-old self, and you're in a classroom and the teacher was let's all talk about our stuff in this language we're learning. And everyone was just kind of shy or didn't want to do it. And like how do you force children to engage with that kind of task? I think it's difficult. Homework, but I didn't have a life. It's like the either or thing as well. Finland is top in education. They have no homework. Yeah, like homework would be good, but I feel like we do way too few interesting things. Like there's so many interesting ways of doing. I feel like the sort of jiu kenkyu stuff that you see sometimes depicted in Japanese media is actually kind of cool. I feel like we should do more of that, or just like give the child like a kind of open task and say like, hey, go learn about something and like summarize it for us and then tell everyone about it. That's kind of cool. I think those types of tasks are kind of cool, and I think that's like reasonable homework where it's like you go do a thing and like actually try and like learn about a thing and then summarize and try and condense and then convey what you learned, which is like a really cool way of practicing critical thought and then all that stuff, right? That's cool. But like sit down and solve these 50 arithmetic questions. That's I'm sorry, but that's bull. Okay, that's stupid. Like no one's gonna. That's just mind numbing. You're just gonna turn the child's brain off. Okay. Almost no homework because she has to stay at school until 2:30 p.m. High schoolers are still predominantly minors, and minors should be allowed to be children. Yeah, I agree. You have to create huge incentives for people to teachers. Yeah, that's about shortage. Taking away a few billions from the defense budget, putting in schools. Yeah, maybe, but that's not really how budgets work. But you know, the worst part of homework was it's just if teachers are the only one. Yeah, that's true. They're like, oh, you already have whatever. What was it called? What was what called? Oh, did I say a word? Jiu kenkyu is what they use. Jiu kenkyu. Is that what you meant? That's a word that I used. So, I don't know. Research project, you know? Free research. There you go. All right, let's finish this dialogue. I have to go soon because I still need to cook. So, yeah. But today was Tangent stream. I don't know, you can probably make a video. Rockin', you make a video of this. Alright, no going. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to, but... その時は目撃者がいた. So, in the first case, the something, tears of something, there was a witness. 目撃者? A witness? 一応、新聞記事を切り抜いておいたっすけど、well, I got this newspaper article here. 怪人も逮捕されちまったっすから、あんたにやるっす. The thief got arrested, so I'll give this to you. Okay. Everything is bad to teach at school with the way it's done. It's easily how bad the learning asking the natives, but learning is bad at school. Sometimes I have had some good teachers and good experiences at school where I'm like, this was an okay way of learning this, and like it prepared me for other parts of my life, I guess. And then also, oh man, this is something that is a little bit triggering. Is when, do you know how people always complain that they don't teach you certain stuff at school, but then they sort of misunderstand or behave in ways like, I don't want to make this like political or controversial, okay? But people always complain like, oh, why don't they teach you this and that and whatever in school? But then there's lots of other stuff that they constantly get wrong, which they did learn in school about like biology or just simple mathematics or like stats or like there's all these things that we do learn in school that people still get wrong all the time. So like, well, even if you learned this at school, you'd probably still be bad at it. It's like, it kind of triggers me a bit when people are like, you don't learn that at school. I'm like, yeah, but you learned lots of stuff at school and none of it you remember. So I don't know. That just triggers me a bit. あれこの警備員さんどこかで見たことない? That security guard person, haven't we seen that one somewhere before? 小さくてよく見えないけど言われてみれば he's kind of small on the picture and I can't see it well, but now that you mention it, oh, so that's the blue teardrop or whatever. 新聞記事仮面マスク1回目の犯行の新聞記事. So this is the news article from Kamen Mask's first case. Grab all your books that tell you that you can only taste sweet things with the tip of your tongue. Okay, I mean, there's some wrong stuff as well, but still. All right. Let's do this one, and then I think we're done with this. ひどいですよ、あの検事さん. That detective is horrible. about doing your taxes. Snooze. You snooze, you lose. 私たちが見つけた証拠を使って優作さんを using the evidence that we found and he used it to make Yusaku guilty. あんたたちにダメージを与えるためわざとあんなことをした。He did that on purpose to damage you guys to like not damage you guys. It sounds so severe. ダメージを与える just you know to deal damage to hit you. How do you say this? Yeah, to deal damage, yes, but it sounds so gamified. It sounds like an RPG. You know what it means, obviously, but yeah. Deal a blow. そう考えるべきっすね. I think that's how you should think about this. I think that's the intention. 一体何者なんですかあのコーヒー好きは Just who is that coffee loving guy? Like, who is he, that coffee lover? That's true, yeah. It's all the dedicated people. 護道検事は謎のミステリーに包まれているっす。Prosecutor 護道 is wrapped in mysteries and riddles. 実は自分も今まで聞いたことがなかったっす。Even I haven't heard of him before. ある日突然風と共に検事局にやってきたっす。Just one day he just like came to the prosecution office with the wind. He flew into the prosecution office. 謎のミステリー. Yeah, that's a good one, huh? 検事として初めての事件だって言ってましたよね。He said that this was his first case as a prosecutor. 確かに記録の上ではそうみたいっす。しかし It's true according to the records, but ありゃ素人じゃねえっす。パキパキのプロっす。But that guy is no amateur. He's a pro. Paki Paki. We're not going to look up Paki Paki, okay? Use your imagination. It'll be one of those. Pick one. Let's let it bubble up inside your brain and then pick one. And then that will be the one that we're going with, okay? 自分も気になって聞いて回ってみたっすが also, it caught my interest and I was kind of going around asking. 誰も知らないし、教えてくれないっす。Like, no one knows him and he won't tell us. Pac-Man. 人気なさそうですもんね。糸の子さん。I mean, you don't seem very popular, 糸の子。いや、そういう意味では、That's not what I meant. 否定はしないけどね。護道検事、僕を知っているみたいだったけど。It seemed that he knew me at the very least. 何か秘密がありそうだな。There must be some secret to this. Okay.Well, talking about secrets. One of the secrets that we're going to keep until next week is how this is going to continue. So, thank you very much for watching, but I'm going to stop here. I still need to cook. I'm going to make curry. Probably red curry, I think. Yeah, I think I will. I think I will make red curry. So, thank you all very much for watching. I have saved successfully. I'm going to save again because I'm paranoid as hell. And I always worry that I just like hallucinated the saving process entirely and I didn't save at all. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Thank you all so very much. Okay, I will see you around. Thanks for tagging along over on YouTube. We're gonna do this every Sunday now. This is my sort of way of invigorating the YouTube side of things because I wanna also put focus on this platform. Like I said, there will always be streams like the Ace and the Japanese focus streams. I'm always going to do at least on YouTube and then maybe on Twitch extra or not on Twitch because I like the DVR. I like that it gets saved and recorded. That's very useful. So like at the very least, I'm going to stream for these kinds of things. I'm going to stream on YouTube so that I have a recording of it. And then maybe I'll do like fun extra streams just on Twitch, but they're not going to be like super relevant to like Japanese learning. I'll just like fool around or whatever if I have the time. And then probably on Sundays, I'm going to try and stream only here on YouTube, see where we go with it. I think that probably having a little bit more of a viewership here on YouTube will maybe push the stream a little bit and help us grow an audience here as well. And then we'll try and do like videos as well. I don't know. It'll be something. It's just all, listen, it's all a big experiment that you're part of. We all share the same petri dish, if that's how you want to think about it. So feel free to distribute your bacteria and infect everyone else. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. It was very lively in YouTube chat today, which I appreciate. I always have, maybe you can tell, from how many tangents I go on or how lively I am during the stream. I always have the most fun when I get to talk to chat. Like, you know, at the end of the day, if I just wanted to play the games by myself, I would do that, and I just like record it or something. But no, I enjoy this. I like interacting with people. That's fun for me. So I prefer this. Like the more interaction, usually the more engaged I end up being. It's probably normal, I guess. Anyways, does it make it more comfortable if chat isn't split between? No, I don't care about the chat. My chat is unified anyway. You can really watch wherever you want. If I'm live on both platforms, it doesn't bother me. The chat comes all together in the streaming app that I use anyway. So that's not an issue. I will see both chats, no problem. It doesn't matter. You just use which one you prefer. All right. Thank you so much for watching, okay? I will see you guys around. I'm going to stream Wednesday. More Persona. We're on the Persona grind, okay? I want to finish Persona eventually. Hopefully this year. I don't know. But yeah, thanks. I'll see you. Bye. Bye. Take care.